CVE 2025-29927. Next.js is a React framework for building full-stack web apps. Prior to versions 14.2.25 and 15.2.3, it's possible to bypass authorization checks within a Next.js application if the authorization check occurs in the middleware. This vulnerability is fixed in versions 14.2.25 and 15.2.3. But the base CVSS score was a whopping 9.1 critical. Now let me say, this has a lot of drama with it, being in the front-end world and being React and Vercel and Next.js and whatever, I don't know. Look, I'm not a front-end developer. I'm gonna say that outright, I don't have a whole lot of ground to stand on. But CVEs, vulnerability, cybersecurity stuff, I got a little bit of ground to stand on. This is the CVE ID reservation from NIST, and if you wanted to take a look down below, they do have a lot of other references, other hyperlinks and advisories for OpenWall's entry on this, and of course the GitHub note on the Vercel repository for Next.js. There's not much more to dig into on these pages. The GitHub advisory does note that any of the cloud or SaaS deployments that are hosted on Vercel and some of the other online hosting providers are already patching, and this is cleared up. They're automatically protected against the vulnerability now that it has been fixed. And the workaround noted here is kind of neat because they don't really shy away from anything. If patching to a safe version is infeasible, we recommend that you prevent external user requests that contain the x-middleware-sub request header from reaching your Next.js application. All this vulnerability and what really all the exploit boils down to is that header. But don't take it from me. The credit section here gives good kudos to the researchers that tracked this down. And forgive me, I'm awful with names. I don't know if it's Alim Rachid, handle ZHero, another Alim Yasser, handle Inzo_. Now, they have published their own write-up. They shared it over on the Twitterverse, X or whatever, where everyone else is screaming and shouting about the vulnerability, all the drama there, but the research paper is out. ZHero mentions, and he follows me. Hey, follow back. All right. Next.js and the corrupt middleware, the authorizing artifact, result of collaboration that led to the CVE. Let's go take a look. This is ZHero's blog. Looks like zhero-web-security.github.io for some of the GitHub pages, and they add a little introduction here, discuss the background on Next.js, and how they found this thing. Good table of contents, but let's dive in. Next.js middleware. Now, if you aren't familiar, middleware allows you to run code before a request is completed. So whenever you, as the client, are asking for something on the internet, you're saying, hey server, please give me a page. And the server serves you a page. You request this and they respond, but this is all before the request is completed, before the server responds. Middleware sits in the middle of that, hence the name. They get to tamper with, manipulate, and do whatever they might with some other logic and code based off how it'll handle a request and return a response. The Next.js documentation that they link basically has that exact same explanation, so I hope that's pretty clear to understand. And Next.js, being a beefy, bulky, a complete framework, it has its own middleware, an important and widely used feature. They use it for path rewriting, they use it for server-side redirects, but ultimately they could use it for authentication and authorization. That means that you might be logging into Amazon, I don't know, Facebook, whatever you do, so you have your username and password, you have your multi-factor authentication, you are able to log in and you get a session. You've got the cookie, little name tag you can carry around that tells the backend server you are who you say you are because you authenticated. So for an example, right, user tries to go access the admin dashboard. If they are not the admin or don't have the admin privileges, they should be redirected to, hey, something to have them log in. Say, look, I don't know if you're the admin or not, but you got to give us the credentials and say that you are. As it turns out, though, if we dig into the code, there's some little gimmick. So ZHero and Inzo tracked down in an older version of the Next.js framework, version 12.0.7, they found this piece of code where you could see in the packages next server, next-server.ts TypeScript code, a subrequest constant was set to the value of the x-middleware-subrequest header in the request data. They carve out the value, splitting on the colon to denote, okay, what the actual content is, and if the subrequest or the request includes that middleware info name as a value, then it just continues onwards. In essence, just skipping over the rest of the logic, given this in a for loop here. So as they explain down below, when a Next.js application uses middleware, the run middleware function is used. The latter, beyond its main utility, retrieves the value of the x-middleware-subrequest header and uses it to know if the middleware should even be applied or not. That header is the deciding factor as to whether or not it will do middleware stuff. The header value is split based off the colon, as we mentioned, and it checks if the list contains the middleware info.name value. So if it were provided here and we had the right value set, then middleware can be completely ignored, meaning authorization, authentication, username and password stuff doesn't matter, it's gone out the window. But we need to track down what middleware info.name as a variable or unknown value actually could be. Turns out it's pretty easy to track down, and they were able to track it. They were going through different changes in middleware conventions where originally there was an underscore middleware.ts file. The app router was put together in version 13. So this has changed over time, but ultimately it could be tracked down to a value that is known. But ultimately now completely bypassing middleware and bypassing authentication. Now, reading about all this is fine and dandy, but you know I like to try to have some show and tell, so let me log into a Kali Linux virtual machine. Let me just get a Linux instance set up and ready for me, and I'd like to actually put together an example, little proof of concept, vulnerable application. For this demo, I'm going to be doing some vibe coding, which I'll admit, look, I've been doing vibe coding for a little bit. I think it's pretty cool. AI helps speedrun me to the stuff that I want. And I haven't done any of it online in a video or like a live stream because honestly, I'm like embarrassed. Like I feel a little bit ashamed to do it. But as it turns out, I don't know, I saw the Primogen and Tej and Low Level Learning doing a live stream for 7 days where they're vibe coding with Cursor. So apparently it's cool. I guess it's fine. So let me make a directory for Next.js, and then I actually will use Cursor. We can open that up on the Linux rendition. I've got it downloaded here. Gentle reminder, I'm not a front-end dev, don't know React, don't know TypeScript, don't know Next.js, but I think we can still get something cooking. Let me prompt this to create a Docker container with an old version of Next.js before this vulnerability was patched, so we could see, experiment, and play with a little proof of concept. Create a Docker container with an appropriate Docker file that will host and serve a simple proof of concept hello world app using Next.js version 12.2. Hit enter on that, fingers crossed. Okay, that should just crap out our package.json, which will grab the correct dependencies and version for Next.js. I'm telling it to use an old version here. Then it will create a simple hello world page. Looks like that has been built out in the index.js here. I can press the I believe button on that. Really, that's all I need. The Docker file is going to end up building this with Node and expose it on port 3000. So let's accept all those changes. Let's get back to our terminal. And now in a new tab here, let me move into that directory and let me try to Docker build Next.js with this tag name in the current directory. Building it out should be all done. Now I could try to Docker run tacp 3000 for our Next.js app. Will that spawn start? Looking good. Let me open up my web browser. We'll use Firefox here. Let's get to localhost on port 3000 to see that served. Hello world from Next.js 12.2. Now I know I'm using an old version, but I do want to do this and walk through a little bit of discovery for actually firing the gun here and using that X middleware dash whatever sub request header. Excellent. Now add support for login and authentication. All right, now I have prompted Cursor to add in authentication using the Next.js middleware. It'll add just a login page, it'll add an admin dashboard with some special secret information, and an admin user with a hard-coded password just for the sake of demonstration. There's a login button, and now this should be something pretty easy, something added enough to just have the capability with middleware. This should now end up exposing the vulnerability that we've been reading about. CVE 2025-29972. Or, sorry, 29927, whatever. Let's accept all those changes. Keeping the vibes going, let's try to build that Docker container once again, and then we can run it and see it in action. Good, good, good. Let's try to run. Now, if I refresh my page, ooh, we have a go to admin dashboard button. I can go take a look, F11, that brings me to the login page, of course. If I were to try and enter my admin with a please subscribe password, well, that's the incorrect password, so invalid credentials. Obviously, entering the now hard-coded correct password will tell me, hey, that is going to bring you to the admin page. Hey, at the admin dashboard. Welcome to the admin dashboard, protected admin page. You can only see this content because you are authenticated. Now, let's get a little hackery, shall we? Let's get back to our terminal. Let me open up another little tab here, and let's use curl to try and exploit this authentication bypass. This is not hard, right? Curl HTTP localhost on port 3000. Now, obviously, I have no session, no content, no credentials, nothing here, but a home page is spat out right back at me. If I were to try and access /admin, it will say, uh-oh, no, you're not allowed there. Go to /login. In fact, TAC V will make that verbose. You can see there is a temporary redirect with HTTP 307 status code, not usually 302. But it does bring us back to a new location, /login. If I were to use TAC capital L, we could see that that will follow the redirect and then give it the login page. But we want the admin dashboard. Thing is, we could just go straight to the admin with a special header. As you saw, just simply x-middleware-subrequest set to the value of literally middleware. In this version 12.2, that should work, and I won't get a redirect, I'll get the actual page. I know it looks like gunk when it's all HTML spat out. Here is the admin dashboard, though. No tricks up my sleeve. If I were to use Burp Suite, look, I can reinforce this once again. I think you get the gist, though. Start Burp temporary project. Super simple. We can get to our proxy and open up the specific Burp Suite browser. From there, let's get to localhost 3000, go to our admin dashboard, say that we would want to log in, but I don't want to have our credentials in use. Let me just go back to /admin, and now we can see intercept on. We will capture that request, and if I edit the request contents, we could add our header here, x-middleware, spell middleware correctly, and request could be middleware as the value. That is literally all it takes. If I forward this request, we're logged in without any credentials, auth bypass. There's the admin dashboard. Now, if this had capability to modify templates, to upload files, to run commands or execute code just as some access capability for being an admin, I'm sure you can see where damage could be done here. Now, that little proof of concept was in Next.js version 12.2, and the explanation in their write-up here does discuss how that could be in different locations, like the name, the value that we use for the middleware info.name value as the actual contents of the header, x-middleware-subrequest. That could be a couple other variations. It does change from version to version, and it's worth going through in much more detail in the write-up here. Forgive me, I realize I'm kind of steamrolling through it, but that was the damage. There's actually a really funny kind of nuance. Discussing it with version 12.2 is very simple. It's just middleware being the value, but in some other cases, you might find other options. The one about recursion is really funny to me. In this case, they do a max recursion depth constant set to the value of 5, where they check this against the values. And if you were to end up working with that, when you use the x-middleware-subrequest header, they end up using middleware 5 times with the colon. middleware. I like the memes. That looks good. Dig it. And here's some more cool stuff, right? The exploits are digging into real examples from bug bounty programs. I believe the authorization rewrite bypass, since you again can access admin login without the 404 or redirect in which we saw in another case. You can do the path rewrite to use the authorizing artifact, your new header here. You just log in. Could also get around content security policy CSP because you can use middleware to do whatever you want now. You could set or do any other middleware things like mess with the content security policy and other cookies. I like that they had to redact the entire response from Burp Suite there. Kind of wild, crazy stuff, but look at how they were beating up different versions like 15.0.3. Ooh, the denial of service via cache poisoning is kind of wild. Makes sense, a cache poisoning DOS is also possible via this vulnerability. So follow along with the scenario here. Let's say a site rewrites its users' paths based on their geographic location, like /en/fr, etc. But it hasn't provided a page or resource on the root of the web page, just a /. If we bypass the middleware, we consequently avoid the rewrite, and we could end up on the root page, the latter not being supposed to be reached. The developers didn't provide a page, so while you get a 404 or a 500, depending on the config, if the site is using a cache or CDN like Cloud Delivery Network, it may be able to force the caching of a 404 response, rendering its pages unusable and significantly impacting its availability. Goodness gracious, that's kind of crazy. Clarification here, it looks like they're getting into how the problem really is the middleware. It's not anything else in the application. It's not the Next.js language or some of the syntax. It is just that piece of code in GitHub that we got to scroll through where it has that interesting logic where you could just totally skip over or bypass all of the middleware capability when you supply this header. That was a lot of scrolling to get there, but that's the gist. It is literally adding x-middleware-subrequest and whatever value, whether it's middleware. I'm not gonna lie, it's just a little bit funny. But look, this has been patched. This was fixed. For Next.js 15.x, the issue is fixed in 15.2.3. For Next.js 14.x, the issue is fixed in 14.2.25. And use the workaround and make sure you just straight up can't end up passing x-middleware-subrequest, whether you're using a web application firewall, WAF, whatever. But that is why it is a 9.1 out of 10 critical severity vulnerability, because it's point and shoot, single curl request, you set a header that is easily client customizable. But the more interesting bit is the commit diff that actually patches this. Here, let me scroll down to the changes that they made. They do something interesting now where they get random bytes. They just end up including what is realistically a secret for middleware requests. That is going to be included as an ID, and that's generated server side. So it's not something that the client or the front end would particularly know. Then in the utilities, when it's working with middleware, it checks if this request didn't origin from the session, that we filter out the x-middleware subrequest to actually make sure that we aren't skipping middleware incorrectly. They also sanity check the subrequest ID or the secret that's been working with, so it's now able to know, okay, you are who you should be, doing what you should do, and it's not something being used nefariously. Hilariously, it includes middleware. But the thing is, this vulnerability has been present in the Next.js source code for several years. Again, I have no stake in the game. I don't use Next.js, don't use React, not knowing any of the TypeScript Vercel stuff, but Next.js is pretty gosh darn popular. Downloaded nearly 10 million times a week, and it's got a crazy audience and fan base. With that said, Vercel is crushing it. The vulnerability took a few days to be addressed by Vercel team, but it should be noted that once they became aware of it, a fix was committed, merged, and implemented in a new release within just a few hours. That is still a good thing. I think some people have been pee-pee, poo-poo, and ha-ha a little bit of Vercel and their response here, but look, following whatever Twitter X drama, I do think the CEO here comes out and says, look, hey, they're trying to stand for a better and more secure web, and we kind of dropped the ball. We missed the mark on how we communicated about the CVE, especially with industry partners. That's our bad. Look, I appreciate the candid, constructive feedback, criticism, stuff to make us better, stuff to make everybody better. And really, that's all you can ask for, right? Like, shit happens. I don't know. Everybody poops. Everybody oops. Everybody's got vulnerabilities. It's really how you handle it. It's how you respond, how you react. And if you're feeling like, uh-oh, we didn't do as well as we could have, we can do better, then that's all right. Like, do better next time. There's gonna be a next time. Anyway, that's the gist. That's all this is. CVE 2025-29927, critical 9.1 severity. It's a curl request. It's an HTTP header. It's a single command. It's point and shoot. It is a little bit of a boo-boo, a little blemish, a little embarrassing oopsies, maybe a little mistake for 2025. But, you know, I don't know, this keeps happening. That's just how vulnerabilities be. But I wanted to hop onto the old hot gossip drama and, I don't know, open the door for me to apparently do vibe coding. So I'm going to get back to some vibe coding. I don't know, we'll crap out a couple videos for that. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all those YouTube algorithm things. Yeah, bye.